Now, this has got some tough transition words that a lot of people are not going to know, but if you can get good at categorizing them, and I have videos about this, you can start to see some real patterns that are going to help make things very nice for you. So rather, that's a word that basically means but. That said is not as descriptive. It's not something that you're going to have that instantaneous reaction to, but it also means but. It's a way of saying, like, here's an example. I like ice cream. That said, it makes me sick every time I eat it. Right? There's a contrast there. I like ice cream, but it makes me sick every time I eat it. So that is important. We need to be able to recognize that those are both but words because it probably means that they're both wrong. Now, if there's some contrast in the sentence, we can always revisit that, but it's a good sign. Now, in other words, is very literal. It means we're going to say the same thing in other words. So we're just going to add on to what we said. Whereas for instance is a slightly different way of saying for example. So B and D are not the same. They're definitely different. Let's see what we need. The ancient Spartans were known for their bitingly concise or laconic wit, a quality they maintained even in the face of great peril. When Philip II of Macedon threatened Laconia, the region of Greece containing Sparta, he said, "If I invade Laconia, I shall turn you out." The Spartans replied with a single word, "if." Okay, so this is an example, right? They're known for this kind of wit. So, for example, when this guy threatened Laconia, they had a witty kind of retort. So, yeah, for example. It's not in other words, because even though they're adding on a new point that kind of follows from the one we talked about, that is still the same basic idea, it's adding on new information, not just repeating information that they've already said. In other words is one of those answer choices that's almost always wrong on the transition questions. It can be right occasionally, but it's almost always wrong because it doesn't do what people think it does. It's not a word like and. It's not a way of continuing the story. It is a way of repeating the story, saying the exact same thing we just said in other words. So unless they're doing that very straightforward repetition, it's not going to be the right answer. And here, if we know that for instance is for example, we kind of can see very easily that yes, we have an example of the first sentence.